At BLM, we are keen to make sure you understand what is involved if you are ever asked to attend a police station, and we are here to answer any questions you may have regarding the process and the procedure involved. Please watch the video which follows to find out more. We also provide further material for you to download, and details will follow at the end of the video. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to get in touch. Please watch our other videos in the What If series for further information on legal know-how for clinicians.
Hi, my name's Dr. Smith. I work in Leeds and I'm calling because a police officer has left a message for me to call them. A patient died at hospital last week, not long after I'd seen her, so I think it might be about that. But also there's been a complaint that I was rude to one of the patients, so maybe it's about that too. I've never been involved with the police before. Can you give me some advice?
OK, well thanks for your call. You've done the right thing asking for help from a solicitor. The police must have received some information that a crime might have been committed, and they've got a duty to investigate any potential crime that's reported to them. It's possible it's linked to the patient's death, and it might be gross negligence manslaughter. Do you have a defence organisation?
Yes, I do.
Well, legal assistance might be covered under your membership with them, so after we've spoken, I suggest what you do is you ring them as well. And when you've done that, you've got my number, so do give me a call if you'd like any more help from me.
OK, so if the police want to interview me, does that mean I'll be arrested? I don't want them to come to my house or to the hospital.
Not necessarily. It sounds like they want to arrange for you to attend a voluntary interview. They don't usually give much notice for this, so they'll probably want to arrange for it as soon as possible.
Right, so what does that mean for me then?
When you attend a voluntary interview, you aren't arrested. You can leave the police station at any time. But if they do want to detain you and they have enough evidence against you, then you could be arrested.
What if I don't want to go, or they don't let me attend voluntarily?
It's quite rare for that to happen, but if they do think you aren't cooperating and they've got enough grounds, then they could arrest you. If you're going to be arrested, the police might come to your house or your work, although what's more likely is that they'll tell you to go to the police station at a specific time, and then they'll arrest you when you arrive. So at least it would be done in a bit more of a private way in the custody suite.
OK, well hopefully that won't happen, but I'm worried. If I'm arrested, what will happen next?
Well, if you're arrested, the police will have to caution you and explain the reason for your arrest. If it happens away from the police station, then they'll take you to the police station for an interview. You have rights when you're in custody. The custody officer will explain them to you when you arrive, and they might also want to search you and take fingerprints, although that's unlikely if it's a gross negligence manslaughter investigation. The most important right, of course, is that you can have legal advice. Even if you are arrested and you can't contact your own solicitor to come to the police station, you're still entitled to have a duty solicitor with you.
What's one of those?
They're like an on-call solicitor, and someone is always available 24 hours a day. It's really important not to say anything to the police about the reason they're interviewing you until your solicitor arrives.
OK, so what happens in the interview? Do I have to answer the questions?
Well, at the start of the interview, the investigating officers will have to caution you. You've probably heard it being done before on TV programmes.
Yes, I've heard that before.
So the caution is serious. It means that if you're charged with an offence at the trial, the magistrates or the jury can be invited to draw a negative inference from the fact that you're giving an explanation to them that you didn't give to the police the first time you were asked. On the other hand, if you do answer questions and then you gave a different answer at court, the jury will be made aware of what you said at the police station. They might see the fact that your story has changed as a negative. So you don't have to answer questions. You can choose to reply with no comment, but do always remember the caution. It's a really intimidating environment, and it isn't easy to know whether it's best to answer questions or not. So I strongly advise that if you're asked to attend an interview, you do have a solicitor with you. It's our role to protect your rights and to advise you whether or not to answer questions once we know a bit more about the reason for the interview.
OK, thanks. What happens when the interview's over?
Well, that depends. If they're interviewing you about something that's not very serious and you've accepted that you're guilty of the offence, they could offer you a caution. Or they could charge you with an offence. Or they could release you and tell you there's going to be no charge. Or they could release you but carry on concluding their investigations. And if this happens, They might do it on certain bail conditions, which would depend on the circumstances of your case. Also, you might have to go back to the police station at a later date, but you'd still be entitled to have a solicitor with you.
And how long will it take for the police to decide whether to charge me?
Oh, well, in my experience, this could be anything from a few days to over a year. The police investigation might involve interviewing other people and getting an expert report, especially if there's clinical issues involved. Then they've got to pass the file to the Crown Prosecution Service to decide whether to charge. Unfortunately, all of this means it can take quite a long time to know what's going to happen.
Okay, but could I keep working in the meantime?
In theory, yes, you can, as long as there's no bail condition to stop you. Having said that, the police usually forward their papers to your regulator and to your employer. They might take a different view. Definitely what you should do is contact your defence organisation straight away if you hear anything from your regulator.
Thanks, that's really helpful. I'll phone my defence organisation and then get back to you.
We hope you found our video informative. To download further material, please visit the link on the screen now or contact a member of the team. Thank you.